So when you're going hard and you grind all the time, like everybody knows it's 24 hours in a day. But when I'm in the shower, it's a mental aid station. I don't think about I don't think about people. I don't think about work. I don't think about running. I don't think about working out. When I'm in the car, another mental aid station. When I'm eating, mental aid station. So people eat and they work and all that stuff, man. So I can grind hard because a lot of times, man, I'm in mental aid stations. All my material comes from the suck. Every bit of it comes from the suck. The purpose is you. We forget that. Every day I wake up and I don't want to do some shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? So it's perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do when you ain't got no 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life sucks. You're in the dungeon. But guess what? I'm still going to get it. Because when that time comes, because the time is going to come, when that purpose is there, you'll be ready. But most of us aren't ready because we don't know how to do without having the golden carrot in front of us. Sometimes you have to ignore your feelings. I made a decision, and my decision was to be the best person I could. And I basically, a lot of mornings I wake up and say, F your feelings. And that doesn't mean like, so this kept going. Years later, it kept going on it. So I stopped squatting. So it became like, okay, my knees up, my alignment's messed up, my hips are messed up, I can't squat. So, but I can still run. I don't like to lay in my too long. I give myself a couple of minutes to say, okay, we got man up. We got to get back in this, like, what's next? You know, let's go see what, you know, let's go back to college, let's do something, because you're running and your athletic career's done. I'm always preparing for like not being a bitch. I got to a point in my life where I realized this is life. I've always prepared my mind for the next chapter. And what happened with me was I started this thing called Frontloading. So when I was young, I used to be a little piece of shit. You know, like, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I can't do that. But the second I got my head out of my ass, and I realized, man, you can achieve a lot of shit if you get off your ass and you start moving, and you start motivating yourself. If you front load it properly, the back half of your life is money. And that's what I did. The second I realized that, man, you are a piece of shit, we got to get going. Because at 47, man, you're not going to be able to do any of this shit. When I wake up every morning, I know who I am. And when you get everything, man, you have no regret. I go to such places in my mind and I study the darkness. It's like our minds are like a garage. And the garage, if you open a garage and it's all cluttered up, it's all up, you can't put your car in there. You got boats and you got kids' toys and everywhere. But if you organize that garage and you put everything in its rightful spot, you can pull that car in there. You can put 2 cars in there. You can put bikes in there. And that's like with the mind. People talk about discipline and determination and, you know, repetitions and all this consistency. Why people fall off the wagon so often is because their mind is full of There's no room in that mind for discipline. There's no room for consistency. They may do it once or twice, but then the mind takes over and that cluttered garage comes in, and then it's like a circuit breaker, man. A circuit breaker just overloads and sparks. And our minds, that's our mind, man. It's like a circuit breaker that has so much in it, you keep on loading it, you can't put any more into it. Once your talent level is gone, it becomes a mental game. That the whole mental game sets in then. And most people can only perform to their talent, and they realize, man, why am I always messing up right here? Why is this like my big hurdle? It's because you're performing to your talent. And then after that, your mind has nothing for you. But Goggins realizes we're mentally strong as and we're going to outstrength these motherfuckers in the mind. You have to be trained for it. For when that time comes, you're like, okay, I'm deep in qualified. I call it my morning meeting. We all have these meetings all day long. You know, we go to work. We're working for somebody else. They want a meeting because they want to be successful. So we all sit our ass down, try to make them better, try to make them more money, try to make them more powerful. We don't do that for ourselves. So every morning I wake up, I used to. I had to get back into it again, because in that chapter, you see, I became a little bitch. That morning meeting, I wake up, okay, Goggins, what did you do up yesterday? Where were you at? And I just go through and I analyze my life. The harder it is, the more you start to push back. And so many people just want it the easy way. I'm sorry, man. It's not. So what they start to do is they build this narrative. It's okay. When the narrative should be, you need to work harder. You need to discipline your mind better. We need to help people more than just saying it's okay. It's okay that you're not willing to help yourself out. That's not okay. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. Even though it's your life, if that's acceptable, that's unacceptable. And there's a lot of people in this world, me included, that if I accepted that, I wouldn't be anywhere. Never get ready. Always be ready. I don't look at failure as failure. I look at failure as your first, second, third, fourth, fifth attempt. Because when you're going to try to do something, not trying is failure. That's not some after school special. But when you're able to go out there, there is no failure. It's attempts. Because when you're trying to do something that's bigger than you, whatever you are, whoever you are, if you're paralyzed, you're trying to walk one step and you didn't fail. That was your first attempt. If that's your biggest thing, that's how your mindset needs to go into everything. So I don't look at it as failure is a big word like that gets people down. We give so much power to words. I take the power right away. I didn't fail shit. And the reason why people hate it, to me, this is just my own theory, is because you haven't beat it. You know, I had to find purpose, and my suffering, it had a purpose. Without belief, you have nothing. I had to push myself to such extremes because I came from, people judge me by not knowing where I came from. So unless you're me and you came from where I came from, I guarantee you wouldn't have made it out. Guarantee it. And I knew that. So my belief comes from going, I had to build it. And that's how I built it, man. I build it by the things I do. And whenever it got hard for me, I thought I was on my way out, and I got sucked back in. I become a loser again real quick. And I see them all the time. There's a lot of losers out here that won't face it. I was like, oh man, you gotta go back and visit this mother. I haven't seen my dad in years, man. Years. But I knew where I came from. I knew where my mindset came from. I knew where my demons were. That voice in my head was so loud. It's not your fault, David. It's not your fault you can't read and write. It's not your fault this, not your fault that. It's not your fault that you're fat. It's not your fault that you quit shit. It's not your fault. So I was like, okay, man, I'm gonna go back, visit this so I can just squash it and I can just go on and be a loser because you me up. So I was like, okay, man, I'm gonna go back, visit this so I can just squash it and I can just go on and be a loser because you me up. And so many people, they need to have a 5K, a 10K. I need to have a course in front of me. I need to have something in front of me for me to get my ass up and do some shit. And that used to be me. And nowadays, you know, for the past 20-some years, I don't need purpose. And people miss out on this, man. The purpose, we're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? The purpose is you.